Hello, Rigaroga here, John, and I'm back with another adventure using the index card RPG system. This time I am going back a little bit and I'm going to visit Take. I feel like Take, the small folk shadow that I adventured with in my first couple videos, uh, has kind of gotten ignored a bit. So I sat down as the GM with myself as the player, and we had a little discussion about Take. And Take wasn't too happy about having us try to decide his fate for him. So, what are you doing? Kitty cats. Kitty cats are going crazy. Okay. I've already had to restart this once, so we'll see how this goes. Um, if there's some jump cuts, you'll know it's because a cat came in and attacked everything and destroyed. Well, maybe that's part of the adventure, right? I mean, if you're going to play on a tabletop and you're going to have the cards out there and you're going to have the minis or whatever, even if it's a virtual tabletop like I'm actually using, but if it were a tabletop and I had the minis and a cat just sort of attacked, wouldn't that be a random wandering monster? More like a random wandering eldritch god of some kind, uh, you know, wreaking revenge, reeking of revenge, and wrecking everything. Okay, anyhow, so there is a cat back there. You can see him over my shoulder. Her actually. That's which cat is that? Oh, that's BB. That's BB. Hi, BB. 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 Hi. Hi. How you doing? Oh, yeah. Walk on the keyboard. That's an excellent idea. What could possibly go wrong? Do you want to sit in my lap? Come on. Come on. Sit in my lap. There you go. There you go. Sit in my lap. Watch the game from there. I don't know how well this will go. Okay. Uh, and so what I'm doing is I am revisiting Take after having sat down. Take sort of sat down with me as a player and me as a GM and talked about um, just sort of what he wants to accomplish in life. Sort of just a brainstorming, visioning kind of thing. And so this next adventure is something I put together as the GM in response to that conversation with me as the player, uh, kind of trying to set up a few things, giving me as a player and me as a GM both a chance to explore some ideas and see how well they fit with everything that you know, everything that we want to do, and also to make sure that it really is what we want to do. Um, Kitty, what are you doing? Hi, hi, come on, come on, come on. Yes, yes. I know. Stop. Come on, be good, be good, be good. Okay, and so this is what came out of that. Uh, I am using uh, bits from Core. I'm using Volume 1, cards from Volume 1 and Volume 2. And I may also be using Moldy Banana from Moldy Codex number 1, Axbane's fanzine. So that may make an appearance as well. Those are great things to pick up. Take a look at the description for the video for links to those so you can pick them up as well. Let's just go ahead and jump right in, shall we? Let's jump in and remind ourselves who Take is, first off. So Take is a small folk shadow, sneaky stealth kind of roguish creature. Has a +3 to Dex, +2 Intelligence, +1 Wisdom. Also has a +1 in Armor, and that makes the Armor 11. And then Weapons Kit is +2 for weapons effort, and then there's a +1 in magic effort as well. And then the kit that Take has is the Gree Gloves to make ultimate on chests, Weapons Kit, Trapper's Gear, pouch with some coins, Thieves Hood to make stealth easy, a short sword, and a short bow. And those are still the equipment. Not shown on the character sheet is the skull with the apparition of the red mage in the eyes from the last adventure, which Take hasn't quite decided what to do with. So after that bit of adventure, Take sort of hid, maybe backtracked a bit to collect some food and scavenge for stuff, but has finally kind of reached the point where he needs to move on to another area, because he's kind of used up everything in this area, especially after the fire and all the disasters that were happening at the Red Mage's Keep. So Take continues on along that road and finds slightly farther down that road from where he escaped, and then the keep where the skull was, sort of along that path, he's found a town. And being super sneaky, of course, he's not going to just waltz in. He's kind of thinking that this skull, he doesn't really want it. I mean, it's neat and whatever. He's not a magic user, so he doesn't really care. Plus, his bad experience with the Red Mage, really not interested in, dealing with that guy again. Kind of some PTSD over that whole thing. So he's thinking of this town as a resource place where he's going to get some food, some biscuits and some beans and, whatever it is small folk eat, flowers, honey, things like that. And he's also going to be keeping an eye out for maybe there's a place where he can trade or sell this big honkin' skull that he's carrying around for a whole mess of gold or supplies and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so Take is gonna go ahead and end up in town and kind of stealthing around, looking at scouting out. I'm gonna go ahead and just say, this is a stupid town. These people are not trained or anything necessarily. They're just people. I'm not gonna worry too much about scouting. Maybe he's doing it from a distance and watching and listening from the bushes, but he's not walking through downtown. So he's not taking any risks. Let's do a wisdom check to see if he's able to perceive any of what he's looking for. So there's two things. We'll do two checks. The first check will be whether he can grab some supplies, like maybe take a sack and then dump a bunch of supplies, food and drink and all that kind of stuff into it. So let's do a perception on whether he sees that stuff, that he can get to, right? And it's a 15, target a 10, no problem. He has a +1 wisdom. So he definitely is able to do that. So let's go ahead and do easy against the target to actually collect and see if we can collect it. And it was a 7. Now, I guess I've been doing targets wrong, is that the target number is actually the number you want or higher. So 7 is actually the easy target, and a 7 will actually match that. Whereas in some of the previous videos, I was doing 8 and above based on the target. So it sounds like after watching a few other people play, a few of the other like ultimate effort and Drunken and Dungeons own the actual video run throughs and stuff, that's actually the way I should have been doing it. So that was barely a success, but it wasn't a success. So I have now, so let's go ahead and grab a little sheet. let's grab a sheet, and we're going to do a loot. So we've got a bag. So we'll do a bag. Here, let's switch over. So we're going to go ahead and we'll do a bag, and okay, so we've got a bag of supplies here. So we'll add that to our inventory. And this is just the rope that ties it. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm done. Fine. Okay, so we've got a bag of supplies. Let's go ahead then and do the next thing. He's going to try and take a look. I don't even think I'm going to roll for a check on this, because there's there's obviously this magic user spot that Take is right next to right now. So Take is right next to this clearly it's some sort of supply wizardry kind of place. So let's go ahead and have Take head on in. Now he's not, he was born yesterday in a way, but he's not dumb. +2 to intelligence. He is gonna leave the important stuff like the skull. He's not gonna just take it in. He's going to go ahead and scout out and sort of suss out whether this is even worth bringing in. He's not going to risk it being stolen from him, in other words. So let's go ahead. He's going to go into this merchant and have a chat with this merchant. It's actually, how big does that need to be? Okay, let's just say he's, we'll put him on that card, on the merchant card. So he's gonna have a chat with the merchant. And so he's gonna, let's go ahead and do a charisma check against the area target. Yeah, this is a savvy. This is not your average everyday merchant. Let's go ahead and up the target to 11. We're gonna try a charisma to see if he can charm him. Totally not worth it. So this merchant doesn't particularly like Take to start with. But okay, so the merchant, hey, can I help you? Kind of suspicious. This guy looks like he's gonna steal something. Obviously, that's clearly what he's in here for, even if it's not. And Take is like, acting suspicious. It's really that he is suspicious of everything, but he then looks suspicious as he's hanging out. So he's gonna sort of, yeah, I wanted to see if you buy things. And a merchant's kind of like, well, that depends, what it is. It has to be something I can afford and something I can resell. So it's got to, be valuable, but you've got to want to give it up for less than it's worth in order for me to be able to sell it. So I guess actually this merchant's turning out to be really honest, not cagey at all, but just like really straightforward. which is probably really good for Take. So Take probably hears that and starts to, trust a little bit more that he's not going to be taken advantage of. Uh, so Take is gonna. So I have acquired from some ruins an item with some special properties that you might be interested in. Uh, can I bring it back here and have you take a look at it? And let's talk about, I'd like to make sure that this gets into the right hands of somebody who can take care of it. I suspect it has um, some, amount of danger to it that someone has to be prepared to handle. Uh, and the merchant's like, well, I don't need anything that's going to blow up the store. But you know, okay, let me take a look at it. And takes like, well, I didn't bring it with me. I can get it and bring it back. Um, and the merchant's, well, you know what? It's getting close to the end of the day. Let's go ahead and let's do this tomorrow. I'll meet you around the same time tomorrow. I'll close up and then we'll examine this. We'll examine what it is that you've got. Okay. So Take goes ahead and heads back outside, maybe hangs out, hiding stealth wise. I don't know, maybe not over there. No, there's no way he's over there. He's gonna be outside of town, kind of in some trees or whatever, and he's gonna be eating some of the supplies and whatnot. And we'll just sort of take as written that, if you've got a sack of supplies, it's something that you can replenish over time. Whenever you end up sort of where something you can scavenge or whatever, you just, you throw it. This is a bag where you just sort of throw your stuff as you're wandering a trail. You see some nuts and whatever, and you throw them in there. So you're always replenishing this bag of supplies. But right now he's going to go ahead and eat some of the town stuff like biscuits and things like that. Until tomorrow. So let's go ahead and flash forward to the next day. Take comes back into town, carrying his stuff with him, the skull. So we're gonna go back into that merchant, and so Take is gonna reveal this skull. And if you remember, if I remember correctly, it's basically this giant skull, and in the eyes, if you look into the eyes, there's this sort of apparition of the red mage in there, which could be the red mage was trapped in there. I kind of went through this when first found it. Either it's like a conduit, like one of the eye, one of the oh my gosh, what are they? In Lord of the Rings, one of the spheres. So there's ability to tell, sort of communicate across distances. So maybe the red mage is looking from wherever he's managed to escape to, or this idea I had was that the red mage is actually captured in there, and maybe the red mage that did everything that to Take and to everybody else in the labs, those magical labs where they were captured and held captive and escaped from. Maybe it was an imposter and this is the real red mage. But you know what? Take doesn't care. Who cares which answer it is? This is not a person Take wants to have anything to do with. So putting the skull out, I think the merchant is going to completely recognize what this thing is. Maybe not say what it is. And as the game master DM, I'm making a decision right now what the actual answer is. And I think the merchant is extremely taken aback. He's not scared of it, but this is something he would not have expected to see. This is like one of those rare items where you go to you go to an auction and there's a painting for $10 or something like that that turns out to be like a long lost Van Gogh or something like that. This is an extremely rare artifact, magical artifact that this guy recognizes. Um, but being as truthful as he is, as we've established, just sort of at the table, acting him out, he's gonna really like his take is gonna see him sort of take a step back, and appraise this thing, and hey, little guy, this is an extremely expensive item, and I don't know if I have enough. I honestly don't think I have enough money to just pay you for this. Even taking into account that I'm going to have to mark it up and sell it, or find somebody that's going to buy it, which is more likely true. I'm going to have to go on a search in order to find somebody that can actually take care of this for both of us. So the fact that you've got this suggests that you might have some skills. I'm gonna propose something to you. So just hear me out. Uh, there is another item in this town. The shop is all closed up, everything's locked up, so he's not being listened to. He's probably got some wards and magical items to stop people from listening now. So there is a magical item. It's a book in particular that I've been trying to find a way to acquire. But I'm in this town, and so is this item, and I can't do it myself because it would be too obvious and it would be too easy to track me down as the person responsible. And I need someone to do the work of getting this item so that I can have plausible deniability, so that people won't be suspicious of me. I'm gonna go to the tavern when this thing is being acquired, and I'm gonna stay there and make a ruckus or something so that people notice me. While what I'm proposing is that you grab this item for me. And Take is like, well, I'd rather just get this done, but if you can't, what is in it for me? This sounds like you want me to do this thing in exchange for you taking this. And oh, no, the merchant is now. Let me be clear. That was just the setup. Hear me out. I will hold on to this skull for you while you acquire the item, and I will loan you some items to help you while you're on this purchasing spree. And if you like the items at the end, then maybe we can talk about you keeping them. These are items that I have on stock. They're not garbage. These are good items that I'm offering. And my security in letting them go with you, maybe you decide to run off. I hope not, because I'll throw in some extra money at the end of this, if you come back with the item I'm looking for. But my security in letting them go, letting these items go with you is that you leave the skull here with me, so that we both have something of each other's going, until this transaction is complete, right? And so if you'll go get that item, what I will do is I'll hold on to the skull, and you take some stuff to help you out, and then when you come back, we can talk about whether those items worked for you, and then some extra on the side, to to make it worth your while to come back, because I really would like this item. This is something I would really like, and this is an opportunity to acquire it, when no opportunity had presented itself before. Okay. I think take. Yeah. I mean, this sounds like something I could do. I mean, I'd like to know a little bit more about the item and where it's at, and some information. And okay, so now we go into the planning montage. This is the planning montage where Take and the merchant sort of talk out the stages of this heist. And so it turns out that there is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun. Yeah, well, if I could sing, if I practiced. So it turns out that there is a house on the very outskirts of town, that Take will venture to and search for this particular volume. Now the merchant knows that there's a couple floors, there's an attic, there's also a basement, and he suspects that there will be some people there, people who are members of a particular arcane organization, so we say. Let's just say that. And so Take's job is to go in, with extreme prejudice. There's the merchant has no particular care for any of these people, especially if what happens to them can't be linked back to him. Oh, I didn't change the font on that. Hold on. There we go. That's a little small. 18. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Okay, so that's the plan. Obviously the merchant doesn't really have it all worked out for Take, but Take is going to have to figure it out. So Take heads out of town, boop, 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 past the graveyard, boom, bump, bump, and finds this house. And is gonna go into stealth mode. Nobody's looking, so we're just gonna go straight into stealth. And he's gonna kind of take a peek around, take a peek in some of the windows, see what he can see, and he definitely cannot see any action going on here. Let's have him do a passive. Let's do a passive perception check. Okay, so we've got, we'll put that over there. Oh, you can't see it, so let's just put that there. That's a good enough. Let's do a perception check. Wisdom is +1. So I guess the target's still 11 for some reason. So let's go ahead and take that as canon. I do have a +1, so that is exactly what I needed to perceive that there are some sounds of chanting coming from somewhere. Must be some sort of basement. There must be a way down into the basement. So there is activity going on at this house that Tate can tell it's all in the basement. And it doesn't seem like there's anything anywhere else going on. So, so Take is going to go ahead and let's have him go through. He's going to take some time to go through all of the different rooms looking for this thing that's been described to him. It's a book. I think I already mentioned that, but the merchant described it as being a particular volume, and there may be other stuff, worth grabbing. So take a big bag. But the book is the thing that is actually needed. So Take is going to explore this whole house, and there is nothing going on in this entire house. It's basically whatever ceremony is going on in the basement. They're squatting because this is not a place where anybody is living, and there's nothing of value anywhere in this house that Take can find. So he is going to scout around and look for the entrance to the basement. And still in stealth, he's going to try and figure this out. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Actually, let's step back in time. So this is the montage. So these are the scenes flashing back and forth. The merchant is describing to Take what the layout of this house is. Take is sort of, well, okay, then I'm going to go up. I'm going to listen and try and find out where they are, and they'll probably be in the basement, and then I'm going to scout out the house. So then we flash back to the rest of the planning, and the rest of the planning, let's the things that the merchant is going to give loan to Take. There's going to be 3 items, and one of them is a milestone item for Take's character class, and the others are from the basic or shabby loot table. So they're not epic or anything. But so what we're going to do is we're going to have the first thing is going to be a bow. It's going to be a bow and it's the bow of eagles. So let's go ahead and here, hold on. I did switch. Okay, so it's this bow of eagles. And let's and the bow of eagles, what it is, is a if you take an extra turn to aim while you're aiming with this, so this is the bow of eagles, and if you take an extra turn to aim, then you do twice as much damage. So you do a multiple damage. Extra turn aim equals two times damage. Okay, well, I ran out of space, but anyhow, you get the idea. So there's the bow of eagles. So that's going to be another item that Take is carrying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so the trapper gear I used to make the the bag in which the skull was being carried. So I'm going to take it as read that I have exactly enough space for this because the trapper gear would make 11, but I've used that. So that is still with the merchant. So, and the next thing is magic arrows times 10. Magic damage, reuse, and break on crit fail. So we're going to get a bunch of arrows here. And they're special. These are supposed to be like little stars. Two, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well we'll draw 5. We'll know there's 10. Okay, so there's going to be these magic arrows that do magic damage. And then the last thing, this is the thing that is a milestone reward, and as the GM, obviously I'm partial to this character, right? So I'm a little biased, but because I've been ignoring Take a little bit, I felt bad. So this was sort of to make up for having spent so much time away from Take, is that this is a a milestone reward for having survived all this stuff, in a way. Although it's just on loan, but this is Shadow Dagger. And the Shadow Dagger does magic damage. And even after move. Let's see. And so let's do... Okay, so here's our Shadow Dagger, and I'm imagining what this actually looks like. Is it's kind of a, looks kind of like it's made of shadow, and not necessarily thrown, but it kind of looks like it's in shadow, made of shadow. It's kind of maybe got a serrated edge so that it sort of blends with shadowy edges without being obvious or glinting, and it's kind of charred maybe, or made of some material that doesn't reflect light, so it's non-reflective. So that's the Shadow Dagger, magic damage even after a move. So these are the items that that the merchant and Take talk about for this adventure, for this little thing. Okay, so flashback forward to the next part where they've described that obviously they're going to be in the basement, and the basement of this house, and Take has heard that they're there, realized that they're down there, and maybe there's some sort of ventilation window that that Take is able to see. Hold on. Okay, transition back, and so Take is maybe up in some sort of ventilation unit. He's so small that he was able to get find a way down, and so he's up here watching. And there's these three cultists that are chanting and trying to figure, trying to do some stuff. And so Take has to decide what to do. Does he see? Let's see if he sees. Let's do a perception check. On whether he sees what he needs. Oh, wait, hold on. We're actually going to start. We're going to start a timer. We're going to start a timer. So let's go ahead and do that for this. So it's a 2. So the timer is 2. And so we're gonna do that, and what I'm gonna do is do that perception check. So that's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna look around to see if I can see the item that I'm looking for. 18, totally within within the range that I would need to see it. Let's see. As a GM, is it gonna be in here? I'm going to say yes. The item that is needed is here. And it's going to be on one of these, maybe on this back altar right here. The dreaded volume. An Asprichlichen Dekolten. Something nasty. Maybe we'll find out what the volume is later, and why the merchant wants it. But that is it. It is exactly as the merchant described it to be. So it is clear that that is it. It's not hovering. It's on the table, right? Okay, so it's on the table. There it is, right there. So what is he gonna do? He is gonna go ahead and get ready to. He's gonna use his extra turn to aim at the cultist closest to the book, which he's gonna assume is probably the person in charge, right? So he's gonna think that that's the person in charge. That if he takes this person down, it'll result in good things. Okay, so he's taking his turn to aim. Excuse me. Yeah. So the cultists are going to keep on. They're going to keep on going. And countdown timer is 1. Oops, that's already there. And so he's going to go ahead and take this now that he's taken the extra turn to aim. Hopefully get double damage with magic arrows. So he's going to do range damage, and Take is +3 on Dex. So that's 8 or above. Yes, 8 or above. Go. Oh my god, it's a 2. Oh, it's not a crit fail, but that was not good. That was not good. So an arrow flies past this guy. On a 2, they obviously notice. They're like, "What the hell is going on?" And so they're looking where the arrow came from, and there's Take with his beady little eyes reflecting in the candlelight, flickering, going up. Whoops. Doing a VRE. Oops. And so they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna start. What is the? Arcane missile. So they're gonna do attempt to hit with an arcane missile. So there's 3 of them, and they're gonna attempt to hit. And Take is, I'm gonna say, just I think it's fair to say that Take is in partial cover. Let's go ahead and make it hard for this to happen, which is going to make it, they need an 8 or above. No, I'm sorry. They need a 15 or above, right? Right? Meow, meow. Hi, Chin Chin. What you doing? Okay. And so first one was a miss. 17 definitely hits. So let's go ahead and it's that's magic damage. So it's a D8. Oh my god, this is gonna suck. Wow. Oh my god, and it's an 8. Holy crap. And a 1. So a critical, well, not necessarily a critical fail. Not a critical fail, but definitely a fail. So on an 8, wow, that hurt. Come on, Jen, what are you doing? Come on. Come here. Out of the way. Oh, wow, that sucked. Okay, so we have 8 damage on Take. That's almost everything. He's only got 1 heart. 3. So there. Now I know that there's some new rule with it's Constitution check, and then it's your Constitution bonus plus 1 or whatever for recovery. But I don't actually know what those rules are yet. I suppose those are posted in the Google Plus group, but I don't really read that. So I don't really know about the recovery. But what happens next is their chant has been interrupted. So the threat timer goes down, and then out of a secret door in the back of this basement, out pops some shamblers. Let's say three shamblers, and they each go after these cultists. Maybe this one doesn't make it all the way over, but so they bust out. They're on. Let's say they're on this guy. I think the other 2 completely freak out. I think that's reasonable that they freak out and they run. So they're running out of the house. I think the shamblers totally take out this guy. And then so we've got an empty basement basically. with some. Now we've got, instead of cultists, we've got shamblers, and so what happens next? I'm gonna take a really quick look at recovery in the rules. For each heart, you've received 10 hit points to lose and cherish. But how do you recover? Recovery in mere moments. In combat time, you have the slimmest chance of recovery. There is no safety and only seconds to spare. You can spend a combat turn in recovery, beat the current target with a con roll, recover 1 hit point. Yes, 1. Add your constitution bonus to the amount. Here's where the con stat shines. In hours between battles, I can recover 1 heart if I'm in complete safety, no roll. I think what's going to happen is he's going to exit out. I think Take is going to exit outside the house to relax and recover. Maybe, you know, take some of the supplies and recover back to 1 heart. You know, he's got all night. But so he's going to bandage up what he can. You know, spend a couple hours. And then come back. Okay, that's what's going to happen. So he's going to go ahead and heal back up. So what I've done is I've removed the damage, and he's healed back. Now he's going to come back to this basement unit, and when he does, he's going to find it's completely empty. Well, hey, bonking me in the head. Hi, Jin Jin. Hi. Oh. Okay. Come here. Oh, stop it. I'm not hurting you. Want to be in my lap? You want to be in my lap while I play? This is Ginger. Jin. Her real name is Ugin. One of Odin's ravens. But I call her Jin. But when he gets back, you know, the cultists aren't there. Oh, actually, sorry. I need to switch back. Let's transition back. So, you know, the cultists aren't there. The room is empty. The shamblers are gone, and so is the book. Now he was here, so he knows that. Hey! Stop that. So he knows that the cultist, you know, well, I mean, so there's the body of the one cultist is there. Is it there, or has it been dragged away? The body of the cultist has also been dragged away. So the body of the cultist is not there. There is a trail of blood leading to that door, but it peters out. You know, the last of the blood is gone by or you know, something has happened, but you know, it points toward, there's a big pool of blood on the ground, and it leads to that door. So Take pretty much knows that you know, there's a blank spot in the dust on the altar where the book was, right? With a you know, a drag mark also in the direction of the door. So I think Take is going to go to that door and maybe do a little listen. Let's go ahead and see. Let's see what he can do. 17. So he totally whatever. So what does he hear? He's going to hear sounds that are, he's pretty sure are those shamblers. There are some shamblers behind that door, not immediately behind that door, but they're moving around maybe. So he's going to listen for a while to see if they calm down a little bit. And they kind of do. You know, they're still rustling around a bit, but they're obviously not anxious, shall we say. So he's going to go ahead and open that door. And then peek in. And so he's going to see a kind of a crypt that's built into this, past this secret door, this hidden passageway that was busted through. And I actually hadn't planned on this happening, but the 3 shamblers are going to be, there's actually going to be 4 of them. Let's see, we're going to have 1. This one is clearly, this one right here is not really moving very much, but it's pretty clearly the priest. I mean, the cultist has been transformed into a shambler. Not nearly as decayed as the other ones were. He's basically the same body, but he's clearly been converted in some sort of magical, mystical way by the other shamblers. You know, maybe each of them, they have some sort of medallion or something around their neck, and the shamblers put an extra amulet or necklace on this extra shambler, to turn it, you know, to turn the body into a shambler. And so this is what Take sees. So this was the door. As he goes through the door, being super sneaky. Let's go ahead and roll for stealth. It is a dexterity +3. We're gonna pump this up a little bit. We're gonna pump the threat level. I mean, the challenge level up to 12. Let's get this going. 14. So that's fine. He's definitely stealthing. And so this, you know, he can hear these other shamblers, but this one shambler is kind of just moving back and forth, you know, exploring, maybe going around, exploring the edges, coming close to the other ones, and the other ones are like, stay in there, and whatever shambler, and he's like, oh no, okay, I'll stay in here, and bloop, 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 no, and then no. So he's gonna keep on going. So let's go ahead. He's gonna go to this corner. Take is gonna watch. He's gonna use this extra turn as he's waiting to aim, and waiting for this shambler to get right to here, and then he's gonna go ahead and try and hit with magic arrows from the bow of eagles. Oh, and he picked up the arrow that was left on the ground, that he whiffed with earlier. So he's got all 10. Oh god, and a crit fail. Son of a beeswax. It's actually not a crit fail. It's just a ridiculous fail. Is this shambler going to even notice? This shambler is a 2. The shambler doesn't even notice. Doesn't even realize that an arrow. So we're just going to go ahead and do this again. You know, he's going to keep going around, and then, you know, the extra turn of aiming, he's going to try one more time. Oh god, it's a 6. but it's easy because he's doing the same thing again, right? So it was 9, and then I've got a +3. So actually, surprisingly, with my dex bonus, I actually managed to do that. Ridiculous. Okay, but so let's do magic effort. I don't, you know, as the GM, I know the character doesn't even need to roll because it's these are shamblers. There's only 1 hit point. So basically any damage at all is gonna cause them to go away. So this shambler is now dead, and there's 2 arrows to collect. Let's see if these. The only one of the shamblers that would have noticed is this one that's directly ahead. Is the only one that has any view on what's going on. These ones are in their. These are actually other rooms. You can see there's walls with an a passage through the wall into these like auxiliary crypts. The extra rooms. So let's go ahead and do a perception check for this shambler. It's a 19. So this shambler is going to notice this one right here and is totally going to start heading forward. Now they are slow, so let's bring out the moldy banana. And obviously this is actually going to switch. So they are not going to be able to. He's going to only be able to move this far. Shamblers are super slow. So that's as far as the shambler is going to be able to move. Let's make perception. So he's going to take this extra time to aim, not firing right away. Let's see if these guys hear this shambler sort of alarm. An 8 is unsuccessful. An 18. This one does actually. Oh, and I should also say this is the moldy banana from Axbane's Moldy Codex. This shambler is going to make it to the hears something and doesn't know what it is, but does hear something. Comes to this door to try and see what's going on. And so this shambler then meow, row. Wow. Wow. Who is that? Is that Rush? Rush? Who is that? Oh, it's Mars. Mars. What are you doing? What are you making that noise for? Probably want some food. They always want food. Okay, so this shambler, how did that work? Where am I? I skipped the last turn. No. Yes, I skipped the last turn. I didn't move. When this guy did. No, that's not right. I waited that time, and so they get another move because I'm aiming. So this shambler is going to come to here. This one is just dumb and it's like, what, dude? I don't see anything. Let's go ahead and make another perception for this third one up top. Is a 15, so let's go ahead and say he's coming to this door too, going, whoa, what's all the ruckus, man? Dude, what's going on? Yeah, because shamblers are frat boys. Okay, so this shambler is still approaching. I'm going to go ahead now, and I've done my extra turn for aim. And let's see how well I do. And that's a 15, so that definitely worked. We're going to do double damage, double magic damage. Well, it doesn't even matter. I happen to know it doesn't matter. So I shouldn't even bother with the extra aiming time. I should just shoot the bastards, right? That's dumb. I don't need the extra damage. Anyhow, it was worth experimenting with, right? yeah, so I didn't need to take all that time to aim. As a character, I didn't know that. Now I do. So let's, yeah, so this one is dead. This shambler is gone. And these two are like, whoa, what happened to Biff? And so they're gonna shamble in here to this center. And let's see, let's do our stealth. Just do a stealth check. Where am oh shoot. Sorry. Okay, so back to the map. So the shamblers, this is where we were. So this one just got shot and is dead. And then so Biff and Hamburger, Biff and Hot Dog come to the center to look at their companion who just fell, to try and, well, what happened? Did he have too much beer? And we're doing a stealth check to see if Take is still managing to hide in his little spot. And it's a 6 plus Dex, and Thieves' Hood makes it easy. Yeah, so I just barely managed to maintain stealth. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna use some more magic arrows. I'm not gonna take the extra turn to aim because that was dumb, right? So let's go ahead and let's do a roll, an attack on the topmost shambler. Definitely a hit. Let's do magic. Well, again, it doesn't actually matter. I only need 1 point of damage. 4 points is fine. Plus weapon, or plus 1. So it's actually 5 magic effort. So this shambler is dead. And then this shambler then gets to do a perception check. Hey, Marmar, what you doing? Sorry, I forgot to transition again. So so there were the 2, and I just shot this one, so this one's dead. And this extra, no, not on the mic. Come here. Come down to my lap. Come here, Marmar. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Let's do a perception check to see if this sucker even sees me. It's a 16. Yeah, let's go ahead, and he definitely noticed where that arrow came from. So he's gonna go ahead and take his move, and it's only this far because he's a shambler. Remember, because he only moves so far. Not he doesn't even move far. He doesn't move very far. Let's say it that way. So that's going to give me one more chance to roll against this guy. So let's do a roll in my left hand, because Marmar is Mar, come on, don't do that. I'm using that space. That's my space. Ugh, God, an 8, but it actually that is a hit. With range damage. Dex. Wait, is it? No, it's not. No, it's not, because I don't get extra pluses on that. Okay, so that is a miss. Ugh. Okay, so that's the Shambler's turn, and the Shambler is gonna make it. Let me remind myself really quickly. Bookmarks. Skeletons. Did I not mark a shambler? Where's shambler? Shamblers. Oh, there it is. Oh, you know, they're actually +1 on stuff. Simple weapon attack that leaves itchy. Grabbing and a blind stumble. These things grasp and pull at living things. Target is grappled with a strength roll to break free. The grip is terribly cold. Okay, so he's actually going to try and grapple. He's drawn to the life that exists within Take's body, and he's going to grapple. And there's actually no roll for that. I mean, he's at close range, so he's just going to grapple. Well, no, let's go ahead. He's going to get a +1 to his roll, but he's got to roll against an 11. It's a 19, and a +1 is mod 20, so he totally manages to grapple. So Take is grappled. In order to get 3, it'd be free. It would be a strength check, but he's not going to do that. He's got a he's got his shadow dagger. So he's going to go ahead and use that shadow dagger for a physical attack and try and attack. Oh man, I forgot to do it. No, I am. Okay. So he's going to do a physical attack. Oh god, it's a 4. So he totally fails at that. So Shambler's turn is grappling. Nope, wrong one. Okay, so clawing and biting. He's just clawing and biting. It's going to be a simple weapons attack against 11. Is a 2. So Shambler is an idiot and totally misses. Doesn't manage to wound himself, but does manage to completely miss. On a 2, let's go ahead and Take is going to try again with the magic, with the shadow dagger. For a 13, so that's definitely going to hit. And I actually don't have to roll damage, like we've already established. This Shambler is just, it's gone. And so Take is like, ugh. Whew, and actually managed to get through that without any damage. That's pretty awesome. I mean, Shamblers are pretty weak, but having full health is still awesome. So he's gonna go back into stealth, and sort of come forward and explore, and look into these little sections. And so, you know, maybe there's some fungus growing where the Shambler latrine is. Maybe there's a truly dead body here, and of course there's Shambler corpses everywhere, kind of like dandruff. Shambler dandruff. So there's three dead Shamblers in this room, and there's and a Shambler here, and maybe there's one he doesn't had nothing to do with off in this corner up here. Marmar, what are you doing? Marmar, come on. Oh, come on. Stay off the playing field. Stay off the playing. Oh no, I know you got caught in my shirt. Why do you do that for? Let's see. Was there other stuff that was going to be? I think there is actually in this one there is a bookshelf, and so Take is going to have to actually get close to these mushrooms in order to try and take a look. Am I on the right one? Oh god dang it, bloody hell. Okay, so sorry, transitioning back. So there are these corpses, dead shambler bodies, and then one extra from who knows what, maybe a previous adventure. And then there's some fungus in the corners of these two rooms from the shambler latrines. And then down here, there's actually a bookshelf against the wall. You know, there's other crypt stuff, you know, broken vase or two, and urns, maybe some canopic jars with desiccated hearts and livers and brains and things in them. But he's going to have to, Take is going to have to decide to try and skirt around to this bookcase and try and see if he can do this. So I'm gonna do a roll. He's gonna have to do a dex roll to get by these mushrooms without triggering any spores or anything. So let's go ahead and do that. So target 12, roll a 13 is perfectly good. Good enough for government work. And so we're going to go ahead and have him be able to take a look at the case, the bookcase, and see. Let's do a perception check. What did I just do with it? How did I don't know why I tried to put that away. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll. So that's a 9. Wisdom, yeah, so he does not manage to do anything as far as perception, so he's going to have to keep looking. And do I do a threat timer? Yeah, let's do a threat timer. Let's do a threat timer. Threat timer was a 1. So if I don't figure this out, the very next something is going to happen this next time. Okay, so let's do one more. Does it count down to 0 now? No, that's not fair. I just rolled it. So let's go ahead and roll perception. Still not enough. Target was 12. I've got a wisdom bonus of +1 and a 10 is 11. Still not enough. Okay, so threat timer has gone down. So we are going to have an actual skeleton show up from somewhere in here. Here's a rustling noise. Sort of the clinking of bones, and and this is skeleton is gonna. Oh, damn it! Oh, forgot. Okay, sorry. So the threat timer went down to 0. A skeleton showed up somewhere, must have been in here or just entered here or something, but that was the threat timer. And so this skeleton is advancing to this hallway. Take is going to look at this damn bookshelf again. And it's a bloody hell, it's a 3. Even with an easy bonus and a wisdom bonus, that's still not enough. So it becomes the skeleton's turn. Skeleton moves to here. And Take can go ahead and take one more try at this stupid bookshelf. 16, finally. Fudge. So the shambler somehow, when it took this book and found it on this bookshelf. So Take has now seen this book on the bookshelf, has grabbed it and shoved it into his bag, and is hiding in this corner, trying not to be seen. So Take has the book, but there's a skeleton. And I should have done another threat timer. Let's go ahead and roll another threat timer. And another threat timer was just a 1. So we're going to go ahead and put a 1. I think Take is going to... Take hasn't looked in this back room, but he has what he's after. Is he going to look any further? It's really not worth it. I mean, there may be other stuff. He could come back later, maybe. But let's accomplish this goal. So he is going to take... he's going to take a move. And remember, we've got the banana here. So he's going to take a move to near, which is going to take him to this door. He's going to try and stealth around to the door. So let's go ahead and roll an active stealth check. He can't dash with stealth, but he can move to there and then do a stealth check. Is a 9 plus 3. That is in fact enough to do a positive stealth check. So the skeleton somehow is an idiot and does not notice with the lack of its eyes. Does not even notice Take scooting on by past him. And so he's going to continue on his patrol. He's maybe inspecting these shambler corpses and whatnot. And Take is going to skedaddle the crap out of here. And that's going to be the timer comes down and another skeleton shows up in this room. But it's too late. Take is out. Okay. Wow. That was not as deadly as it could have been. But it certainly could have been deadly if it had gotten worse. So let's go ahead and clear this out. Boop, 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 boop. Oh yeah. Well, what else do I need? Do I need any of these? I need that, and actually I need those two, and then the rest I can clear out. Yeah, the rest I can clear out. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and leave the crypt. Take has gone through the basement, is climbing back up to the vent and getting the heck out, and is now outside in the house, and is now skedaddling back into the woods around the town. And is now going to wait until morning to come back to the merchant. And when it becomes light enough for Take to go on in, he's going to meet the merchant and demonstrate that he has completed the quest by giving the merchant the book. Merchant is impressed. Merchant's definitely impressed. I think he kind of maybe didn't know this was going to happen. It was worth the risk. The collateral he had on hand was certainly enough, and I think that he's going to go ahead and just quickly, take the book, hide it behind the counter, and then haggle with Take for the remainder. And I think what he's going to offer is he's going to offer all 3 of these items to Take, and a sack of I don't know, let's call it 100 gold, which is probably way less than this magical artifact is worth. But he's going to mark it up and try and sell it. So that's going to be where we're going to have Take try and decide whether this is worth it. And these things were fantastic in use. He's going to go ahead and add those to his inventory, his character sheet. It's going to be a little bit difficult to figure out. I may need to switch out maybe the short sword. Oh wait, no, I get rid of the short sword and the short bow, and then I've got plenty of my room now. So yeah, so I'm going to swap those out. Get the trapper gear back that I was using as a makeshift thing for makeshift carrying thing for the skull, and yeah, so that was interesting adventure. That was interesting. I'll probably write that up just as a a little story and post it to the blog, and it'll probably post the time that this video posts. But I wanted to visit Take again, and I reward Take a little bit for having survived so long, and then also for having been ignored for a little while. And so I think that this was a nice little adventure, and it actually sets up a few things that I think Take as a character is interested in sort of becoming as part of the future for what Take is interested in doing in the world. And this is kind of an example of that, and hopefully I'll have more of an opportunity to explore that in the future. But yeah, so actually I'm on my face, so I don't need to show you that. I was switching around the playing board. But yeah, so that's the adventure, Biscuits and Gravy. I actually had, well, I mean, it was a crypt, so it was kind of gravy. I had sort of in my mind, I had imagined that it would be a crypt that was in the cemetery, or that there was another cemetery that was somewhere in the distance that had been sort of forgotten, and Take was going to be directed to the crypt. But somehow on the fly, it didn't work out that way. That it was actually in the house of the cultists. So that was actually a little bit of a surprise for me as I was running through it. But Take got to do some good adventuring. Sort of got to explore how to do some stuff stealthy wise, and to be sneaky, and to use some magic arrows and some magic daggers and stuff like that, which we will have a chance to use the next time that we go through an adventure. So thanks so much for watching. Feel free to get in touch via the website. You can find my email address there, or Twitter, or whatever. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will post another solitary solo RPG adventure in Index Card RPG next week. So see you then. Bye.